Soldiers of silence, listen closely. The battlefield of life does not always roar with the sound of weapons. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it tests you in the quiet corners of your own soul. I am the Phantom General, not born from fame or applause, but from the endless nights of endurance, from the unseen wars that most men never survive, not because of bullets or blades, but because of doubt, fear, and hesitation. The world sees strength as loud, but true power is quiet, calculated, and unshakable. That is the foundation upon which silent strength is built. When the storms of chaos rise, when all directions seem lost, remember this: it is not the noise that wins wars. It is the calm inside you that commands the storm. Before the armor, before the medals, before the victories, there was discipline. The first weapon I ever mastered was not a rifle, but my own mind. I trained it, sharpened it, commanded it to obey when every fiber wanted to collapse. Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment between who you are and who you must become. The weak seek comfort, the strong seek clarity. The Phantom General does not react to the noise of the world. He responds only to purpose. I learned early that silence is not emptiness. It is concentration. When you strip away the distractions, you face the raw version of yourself, the soldier inside the chaos. Many think victory is found in domination, but the truth is, victory begins with self-control. You cannot command armies if you cannot command your thoughts. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself through doubt. Leadership is not shouting louder than others. It is walking straighter when others fall apart. Every great empire begins in the heart of one disciplined mind. I was not always a general. I was once a nameless fighter among thousands, unseen, unheard, unappreciated. I fought battles no one recorded. But every silent struggle carved something deeper inside me. Every unseen failure became fuel. Every scar became instruction. You see, the Phantom General is not one man. He is the reflection of every soul that refused to break. Those who fight when the world has already written their defeat. Those who keep walking when their legs no longer believe in movement. I am their echo. I speak for the ones who rise quietly and strike deliberately. You are not defined by the recognition you receive, but by the endurance you display when no one is watching. Every soldier learns this: the mission does not care about your feelings, it cares about your focus. Emotions are temporary, purpose is permanent. When you wake up every morning, you're standing at war again, against laziness, distraction, and doubt. The enemy is not out there, it's within you. Defeat it daily and victory will follow naturally. The Phantom General leads not through fear, but through example. When others retreat, he stands. When others complain, he strategizes. When others break, he breathes. It is not noise that gives him strength, but clarity. Every breath is a command. Every heartbeat a step closer to destiny. I have seen soldiers crumble under comfort and rise through pain. Comfort is the slowest assassin of greatness. Pain, on the other hand, is the forge where discipline is born. Do not flee from it. Use it, bend it, shape it into your weapon. Your greatest victories will often feel like suffering first. In silence, you will hear your true orders, the voice of your higher purpose. The Phantom General does not chase applause, for applause fades. He chases mastery, because mastery endures. Foe! To those who hear me understand this, your silence is not weakness. It is your shield. It is the mark of a mind in control. While others seek validation, you seek progress. While they crave comfort, you crave command. And that difference, small, invisible, but absolute, makes you unstoppable. Every day you wake, you have two choices: remain the soldier who reacts or become the general who commands. Every failure, every setback, every sleepless night, it's not punishment, it's promotion. It's life seeing if you are worthy of the higher rank. The Phantom General earned his title not through luck, but through long stretches of uncertainty, through wounds that never healed but taught lessons no book could offer. There is no true leadership without suffering. There is no true wisdom without solitude. To lead, you must first stand alone. And in that aloneness, you will discover what most never will, that silence can scream louder than any war cry. When you enter battle, whatever battle you face, remember, your strength is not in how loud you fight, but how deeply you believe. The world respects noise, but it obeys consistency. The loudest warrior may begin the fight, but the most disciplined one ends it. You must decide which one you are. The Phantom General knows that the war never ends, it simply changes shape. Today, it's the war for focus. Tomorrow, it's the war for peace. But always, it's a war worth fighting. Because the one who controls his silence controls his destiny, the field grows quiet again. The smoke settles, and all that remains is the breathing of those who have endured. This is where the code of silence begins. Not every command is shouted. Not every order is heard. Some are felt, carried in the chest, carved into the will. I learned that silence is not the absence of sound, it is the discipline of restraint. Any fool can shout. Only the strong can remain composed when the noise of fear surrounds them. The Phantom General walks through storms with the calm of a mountain. When others panic, he calculates. When others tremble, he studies the wind, because the mind that controls its words controls the battlefield. There will be moments when the world tests your stillness, when chaos demands you to break formation, but you must hold the line within. Remember, emotion is a weapon that cuts both ways. Learn to wield it with precision, not reaction. Those who master patience win wars long before the first shot is fired. In training, I watched soldiers collapse from exhaustion. Some cursed the pain. Some begged for mercy. A few smiled through it. Those few understood the code. They knew pain is the language of progress, that silence is the classroom of greatness. When you remove complaint, the lesson speaks clearly. Every drop of sweat writes a sentence in the book of endurance. Every hardship becomes a paragraph in the story of your rise. And when that story is complete, the world will call you disciplined, not because you never felt pain, but because you refuse to let pain make you noisy. I once fought a battle where communication lines were destroyed. No words, no orders, no confirmation. Yet every soldier under my command moved in harmony. Why? Because long before that day, they had learned to read purpose without sound. That is leadership, not dependence on noise, but mastery of understanding. The code of silence means trusting the invisible, your preparation, your values, your instinct. The Phantom General carries his army not through fear, but through trust. Trust in himself and in the strength he has built quietly. Do not confuse silence with weakness. The lion's quiet moment before it strikes is not hesitation. It is calculation. The world will misread you. Let it. Your results will translate what your words never could. Those who spend their energy proving themselves waste ammunition. Those who save their energy for execution change history. I have learned to listen between sounds, to the rhythm of breathing, to the heartbeat of focus. That is where timing lives. And timing, soldier, wins battles. You cannot rush excellence. You can only prepare so that when the moment arrives, silence becomes action. Discipline is forged in the hours when nobody watches, when no audience applauds. You rise before dawn, you repeat your drills, you polish your craft. Not for recognition, but because repetition creates reflex and reflex saves lives. You will not always be praised, but you will always be prepared. The code of silence demands humility. It is the art of doing great things without announcing them. The Phantom General has walked through victories no one celebrated and losses no one mourned, yet his march never slowed. Because purpose, not applause, was his compass. When your mission is clear, you do not need witnesses. You need endurance. And when you endure long enough, those who once ignored you will learn your name through the echo of your results. The silence of the focused is louder than the noise of the ordinary. Every time you resist the urge to justify yourself, you build strength. Every time you let results speak, you become a general in your own right. Carry this code into your battles, at work, in life, in every challenge. Let your silence frighten the unprepared, because it tells them you are ready. And when the day comes that you must act, act with precision, not fury. Strike once, strike true, and then return to stillness. That is mastery. That is command. That is the code of silence. The battlefield fades, yet the lesson remains. Every war ends, but the warrior's discipline does not. The phantom general walks beyond the smoke into the silence that follows victory. Keys. He knows that glory is temporary, but growth is eternal. You must understand this. Medals rust, applause fades, but character endures. The truest reward is who you become when the fight is over. The legacy of strength begins when the mission becomes greater than the man. I have stood before crowds that cheered and crowds that cursed, but both disappeared when the next sunrise came. What stayed was the habit of rising. You must rise not for approval, but for purpose. The world will tempt you to forget why you began, but the discipline never forget. They may rest, but they never retire from growth. Remember the rule: silence builds, noise distracts. Those who chase recognition lose direction. Those who chase mastery find it. The Phantom General teaches that leadership is not measured by followers, but by the standards you uphold when no one follows. There will come a time when you will stand alone with your decision, your doubts, your scars. Do not fear that moment. It is the forge of leaders. In that stillness, hear the echo of every lesson. Patience over panic, focus over fear, duty over comfort. When life corners you, do not ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That single question transforms struggle into strategy. Every defeat can become data. Every wound can become wisdom. That is how legacy is built, by turning pain into principles. The Phantom General leaves no monuments, only minds changed by his example. You too must leave something that cannot be destroyed by time. Discipline in your children, courage in your companions, integrity in your work. Legacy is not what you leave behind, it is what you build within. The general's march never ends because the war for self-mastery never ends. When you feel you have conquered the outer world, look inward again. The next frontier is always the mind. Complacency is the assassin of progress. Stay alert, stay humble, stay useful. Carry your silence like armor. In a noisy age, your calm will be your weapon. Let others boast, you build. Let others argue, you act. Let others quit, you continue. The Phantom General's voice may fade, but his example lives in every act of quiet excellence. Furry excellence. When you wake tomorrow, walk like him. Steady, purposeful, unshaken. Speak less, mean more. Train daily. Respect time. Honor effort. When you meet weakness, strengthen it. When you meet chaos, organize it. When you meet fear, face it. In doing so, you become your own commander. One day, the younger will look at you and see what you once saw in me. Not perfection, but persistence. And you will know the legacy is passed on. The mission of the Phantom General is not to rule, but to remind. To remind every human that greatness is not granted. It is earned in silent repetitions, in unseen hours, and choices made without applause. So stand tall, soldier of purpose. The world may never know your name, but it will feel your impact. Carry the banner of discipline wherever you go. Guard your focus as you would guard your life. March forward into every dawn knowing this truth. The silent are not weak, they are preparing. The calm are not complacent, they are calculating. The humble are not lesser, they are limitless. That is the legacy, that is the lesson, that is silent strength.